This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, last class we started with events. We have seen how to create an event, right? Last class we have seen what are lightning events. What is the difference between a lightning event and an LWC event? Lightning events are aura events, whereas in LWC it is a DOM event, right? In lightning, right, events are created, registered, fired, handle. Whereas in LWC, events are created using what? Create event. There is a create event constructor available, right? Here we dispatch event, we listen event. Listening is also called as, right? Handling. We listen event. Yesterday, I was showing you how to create an event, how to dispatch event, and how to listen event. Whenever we come for listening event, there are two ways to listen an event or handle an event: declaratively, programmatically. Yesterday class, we have been handling declaratively. Whenever you add a keyword called as O and on in front of a event, automatically such type of listening is called, or such type of handling is called, declarative handling. Whenever you're using on keyword, on keyword. Now, yesterday, if you remember that, we created two buttons. Whenever you click on the button, right, system is creating an event, system is dispatching event. That event is handled or listened by the parent controller, the parent component, parent LWC component. Parent LWC component, after catching or listening the event, is increasing the volume, decreasing the volume. Now today we will see declaratively. I'm still on declaratively, right? How to pass a parameter. Yesterday we passed only the event. Now along with the event, I also want to pass a parameter from child to parent. In single word, I want to pass an attribute. In a lightning language, today we'll be seeing event with attributes. Here we say event with parameters. How to do that? So let's go ahead, right? So, right, this is what we created yesterday. So I say Control Shift P, right? I will say authorize an org, authorize in production org. System is running, unsupported. Okay, that's okay. What happened? That's okay. I close everything. Whatever we opened yesterday, let's close it. Right? System is still doing it, if I'm not wrong. It's taking time, so let's wait. Now, Control Shift P, authorize an org, a production org. Press enter. Rupam. @lt96.com. Password CRM1234#. There we go. Right. I close it. Close tab. Perfectly fine. Now let's create. Control Shift P. Create a Lightning Web component. LWC underscore 1407 underscore EG1 underscore event with params. Event with params. I'm creating a lightning web component. Event with params. Right, let's see. There we go. It's still creating. So what we'll do, we will create and dispatch an event, and along with creation and dispatching event, we will also go ahead and we will pass a parameter, right? So let's do this, right? I can directly go ahead and okay. We can take yesterday's example, right? Or anything. We can do anything. It doesn't. Okay, let's do a new one directly, right? What we'll do is that, okay, yesterday, whatever we created, right? I'll copy the same thing, right? And then I'll show you a new example also. Let's do the same thing first. So yesterday, we created an HTML. You can see that this is what we created. I'm copying from yesterday's class. Control C. I go back to today's class and I paste it here. Control V. Same volume controller, whatever, right? Perfectly done. Next, right? This is what we did yesterday. Next, in the example one, we created an event, we dispatched an event. So I'm copying it. I come here, right? I'm repeating the same yesterday's class, right? But this time I will take with parameter. So what we just did, we went ahead, we created a button called as increase or decrease. Whenever you are clicking the button, system is immediately calling an action called as call increase, call decrease. In the JavaScript, call increase, call decrease. In the call increase, I created an event and I dispatched event. In a call decrease, I created an event and dispatched event in a same line. Perfectly fine. Now, let's go further. Before we go and start using it, Control S. In this increase, I want to pass a value. How to pass a value? Creating event with params, with parameter, right? How? I will say increase. Increase what? I want to pass a value here. What is that? I will say volume, or I will say contrast. Let's say I want to pass a value. You pass a value with a comma, with a curly bracket. In the curly bracket, detail is the keyword. Detail. Detail is a system keyword. Detail. Detail equals to whatever you want to pass. Detail equals to whatever the data that you want to pass. I want to pass a data called as detail equals to contrast, or detail equals to what? I will say detail equals to volume or contrast. How can you pass? You can pass a value like this, single value. Detail is a keyword. Detail. Detail what? Contrast. Contrast. Control S. Whenever you click on decrease, there also I'm passing a value. Comma, detail in a curly bracket. Detail. Detail is a keyword. Remember that. You have to use exactly this word. If you use any other word, this will not take it. Detail equals to what? I will say brightness. Brightness. Contrast and brightness. Contrast and brightness. Along with the decrease button, I'm passing a parameter. Along with the increase button, right? Increase button, as soon as you click the button, an event called as increase will be dispatched. On the dispatching, I'm adding a keyword called as, I'm passing a parameter called as contrast. Whenever an event called decrease is been dispatched, I'm passing an event called as, right, decrease, Along with that, I'm passing an attribute called as, or a property called as, or a value called as brightness. Perfectly fine, right? No issue at all. There we go. Control S. Now we will create the child, right? Sorry, we will create the parent. This is the child one. I will set it to visible equals to true. Visible equals to TRUE, true. Control S. I'm creating one more component. Control C, right? Create a lightning web component. LWC underscore 1407 underscore EG2 example 2 underscore event with params. Same name I'm giving, but only example 1, example 2. Now let's go ahead. System is creating a lightning web component, right? Let me close everything, right? So perfectly done, right? Now in 02 HTML, I'll copy from yesterday's class 02 130702 0202 HTML. There, let me see. Control C. I go to 1402 1407 example 2. I'm pasting it. Volume on increase. I'm adding an on. Increase my event. Decrease my event. On declarative. Volume here, right? Before we go ahead and write, right? Let us go ahead and write, no issues. All right. Okay, before we write the JavaScript, here is the volume. I will say control, 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 NNN, some variable I'm taking, control NNN. Earlier, it was displaying volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This VOL is increasing, decreasing. But now, right, whether it's a volume, whether it's a brightness, what you're increasing, decreasing also will come from the button. I'm not defining it as static. I'm making it dynamic with the field. Control S. Now we go to the JavaScript, right? As soon as you copy, let's copy the same thing from 1307 JavaScript, increase, decrease. I'm copying everything. Control C. I close it. I go ahead on today's class, right? This is my today's class JavaScript, 1402 example 2, right? 1302 example 2 to 1402 example 2. Control S, right? Control S, perfectly fine. Now, along with that, along with the event, right? The event that I'm using, it's a wrong first because my event is not 1307. My event is what? This event is what? Right? It's better that you write an event once again. Never copy the events like this. C hyphen LWC. Today is 1401 event with param. Right? And then copy this. Control C. Paste it here. Right? And delete this line. This is how you copy paste. Otherwise, what will happen? So this is my event. 1407 increase, decrease. Right? Whenever you on increase, call this increase vol. I go to the increase vol. There's a function available. In this function, I have to read, right? Whenever somebody clicks on it, in this function, what I have to do? I have to go and have to read what? I have to read, right? Before I increase, I have to read the data. I'm reading the data now. How to read the data? Remember that. How to read an attribute from an event. That's what I'm typing, right? You can read with constant, CONST. Inside this, always use constant. Constant what? I will say constant v val, any val, va equals to event dot detail is equals to event dot detail. Constant v equals to event dot detail. Constant v equals to event dot detail, right? And then what I did, I also declared something called as, right? This is also I declared control n. Whatever this value is there, I have to pass it to this. I will say this dot con control n equals to v. Whatever the v is there, I'm passing it there. Because the v will be changing, because one time it will show brightness, one time it will show contrast. So it's changing. So I will say track. I will say track. And I will say @track. @track. Similarly, the same thing, when decrease button is clicked, I want, while the event is captured, I want this to happen. This is how we get params slash attribute from event. To get it, you have to use event dot details. To declare, what you have to see? Whenever you want to declare, you have to say details. In declaration, it details. That means with increase button, contrast will go. With a decrease button, brightness will go. Same thing I'm capturing here. When somebody press that button, right, in the parent, I'm capturing the value, I'm storing in V, and then I'm passing it to control. On the screen, I'm using those values. Control Shift, right? Let me go ahead and make it true. Control S. Now we have to deploy both example 1, example 2. Example 1, Control Shift P. Deploy this to the source org. Right? Those who are not able to understand, wait, you will be able to understand. Right? If everything is good, then it should be all good to go. Correct. Now next, this is what example 1. Now I will be deploying example 2. Control Shift P. Deploy this to the source org. Perfect. Now right click, rename, copy, go to my login, Rupam @lt96.com, password CRM1234#. Yesterday event, today event with parameter. Yesterday only empty event, now today event with parameter, single parameter. Next example, we will see event with multiple parameters. How can we send multiple params? Multiple parameters. How to receive a multiple parameter, right? So I close file, open lightning resource, only one resource, that is LWC dummy app, open application, right? I put the second name here, Control V, Control S, preview. See, at the loading, it's not saying anything, whether it's a volume, whether it's right. I click increase. It says contrast 1, contrast 1, contrast 2, contrast 3. Decrease brightness 1, brightness 2, brightness 3. Increase contrast. Decrease brightness. Increase contrast. From where this contrast is coming up? It's coming up from the child. Whenever you click the increase button, system is not only dispatching an event, along with the event, system is also dispatching this attribute. Whenever you are dispatching, whenever you are calling this event is occurring, this event is also dispatching an attribute called brightness. Contrast, brightness, contrast, brightness. If you keep on clicking every time, so Rupam, if I click 10 times, is it 10 times this value is passed? Yes. Plus value is passed, brightness. But it's not refreshing because it's same value, right? Decrease, increase, see contrast. So every time the value is getting passed, guys, every time the value is getting passed, see, passing a single value. Same example yesterday's. Same example yesterday. What you can do is that you can do as the page loads, it's loading with empty. Doesn't look good. Colon 00. It's not looking good. What you can say, track column equals to, I can pass a value here, equals to what? CONTROL, control S, control shift P. Deploy this to the source org. Deploy. I'm showing with a very simple example. The next example that I'll do is a complicated one, right? With multiple params, with the input here, standard static here, right? What we're doing, we are hard coding the contrast and brightness. But next example, I'll take dynamic. Now, next time when I refresh the page, system will load with what? It will say control. Control equals to 0. I say increase contrast, decrease brightness. Page loads with control. Control. Control equals to 0 because that is the default value I've set. As the page load, I've set control and as control. So it's loading that. But whenever I click on the button, the event is dispatched. As the event is dispatched, the values or attributes also get dispatched. Now we are catching those attributes. How? Using event.detail. How to catch? To get event.details. This is how you get it. To get params. Here in example 1, what we're doing? Dispatching an event with param. Dispatching an event, right, with param. Single step to create and dispatch event with param. With, okay, with param. If you put a parameter there, then param. No, it's not there. Okay. With params. Here's the parameter or an attribute, right? Control S. See how it's working. It's giving you the required output. Control. What control? Decrease brightness control. Increase contrast control. Clear now? How to pass a parameter? Now next, let's do how to pass a multiple parameter, and that's to dynamically. We will repeat one more example today. Let us see that. Right? Now I will do a fresh example. I'm closing everything. Control C. I'm closing everything. Control S, close it. Control Shift P, create a lightning component, right? LWC, lightning web component, underscore 1407 underscore EG3 underscore EVN events DYNAMIC dynamic params. Oh, it's earlier also, earlier it should be param. Okay, anyhow, params. I'm creating, right? Let me copy the name because I'll use the same name. present, present. A component is getting created, right? We are creating a component. There we go. We got the component. Perfectly fine. I go to first to the right. Example 3, HTML. Let us first. Now this time all dynamic. This time all dynamic, right? This time all dynamic. Okay. So I will say lightning card. Lightning card. Title, right? EMPLOY, employee details. Any icon you want to place, you can place it. Perfectly fine. I'm taking input. Lightning, INPUT, input. Lightning input. Label equals to what? Employee name. That's a label, right? On change, if you decide the type, text, date, if you give a type, then system will take the formatting. If you say type equals to date, then one calendar will come. So I'm not defining any types. I'm saying on change. What do you have to call? On change, I'm calling individual, right? On change equals to what? Call name. On change call name. Control C, V, V, V. Employee, employee name, employee cell, employee phone, employee email, call cell, call phone. You can call all single function also. Then you have to use name. With a name or ID, with a name you can do that, right? EMAIL, email, right? Then I need a button. Lightning button. Label equals to. Oh, it's always better that you close first. Right now, next label equals to submit. On click. Variant. Let's take variant. VARIANT variant. Variant equals to. I want a blue button brand. Blue button will come. On click. On click equals to what? I will say, right? I will say DIS. I'll say submit me. Okay. Submit me. Submit me. On click submit me. Control S. Right? Now, all these things we have to start creating there. Control C. Right? Where's this? Here it is. Let me first create all the functions. First one. Call me. Next. Call Sal. Call me. Call Sal. Next. What else? Cell phone. Call phone. Next what? Call email. Next what? Submit me. Control C. Control V. Control V. Control V. Perfect. Control C. Control V. Control V. Control V. right? Everywhere I should have put event, my mistake. Event, Control C, event, Control C, event, event. Perfect, all done. Now, I will declare some attributes. How many we created? We created name. So I will say NM, comma, SL, salary, comma, PH, phone, oh, not comma, colon, comma, semicolon. Okay, phone. What is the last? email. Perfect. Right. Now I will make it public. Why public? Because I'll be accessing this data outside. So I will say API. I will declare all these as @API. @API. Control C. @API. Control C. API. Control C. API. All API. Done. Now, whenever the data is entered, I want to capture the data. That's the reason I have written these all. How to capture a data? Everyone knows it. This dot, what is that? NM is equals to what? Event.target.value. NM equals to event.target.value. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. SL, salary. Whatever I'm capturing, that's a salary. Whatever I'm capturing, pass it to phone. Whatever I'm capturing, pass it to NM. Perfect. Right? EM, pass to EM. All the data capture is done. Now, as soon as you click on submit, I want to create event, I want to dispatch event. I want to create event, I want to dispatch event. Right? I want to create event. You can do it either in two ways. You can do in two steps. Number one, we will create event. How to create event? CONST, constant. Right? That's correct. CONST, constant. Constant what? Constant, I can give a name called as submit me SM equals to. How do you create an event? How do you create an event? Equals to new custom event. You take this new custom event. I'm creating an event. Now, what is that? Every event should have one parameter, one string parameter. I told you. Custom event is a constructor, must and should have one string parameter, and that parameter shouldn't contain special character, should always contain small characters, it shouldn't contain caps. Yesterday I gave you that while creating. So what I'm saying now, right? I will say, right, what I will go ahead, I will say, what is that event? The event is called, right, we will give a name to this event. The event name is SUBMITTTTT, submit. That's the event name. This event should contain multiple parameters always like this. In this, right, I should have detail. Detail is a keyword. Remember this. Whenever you have multiple values, again you will put a right curly bracket. Multiple values, curly bracket. Single values, no curly bracket. Right? Merely, right? What you want to pass? What you want to pass? I want to pass NM. I will say NAME name. Name, right, is to, this is that what I want to pass. Name equals to this dot NM. Whatever the NM value is there, give it to name, comma. Multiple values I'm passing. Oh, sorry. right? Comma, multiple values. Next, what is that? sal, colon, sal, colon, what? This dot sl, comma. Next what? phone, colon. See, that's so many different names I'm giving. There it's called employee phone. Here it in the JavaScript I'm saying ph, but while passing the value I'm saying phone. Phone equals to this dot. What is that? Ph. This dot ph, comma. What else? I will say email, colon, this dot em, this dot em, this dot em, right? Right, this dot em, this dot em, right? Make sure that the brackets are perfectly closed. The brackets are perfectly closed. Submit is, and what is this? This is an event. With the event, I am sending multiple parameters. Multiple parameters. With this, I am dispatching what? Multiple parameters. Multiple parameters. With this, I'm dispatching multiple parameters. If you give a space, you don't give a space, doesn't make a difference. Details, multiple parameters, multiple params. This is how you pass a multiple param, right? Multiple dynamic. There, the value was static. I'm saying contrast, fixed. But here, as the input comes, this value will change. As the input comes, this value will change. Next step, we have created. Now we have to dispatch the event. How to dispatch event? Everyone knows what I have to say. Dispatch event. How can I say? This dot, this dot dispatch event. It's a method. Dispatch event is a method, as I told you. This dot dispatch event. What? SM. SM is the constant where I'm storing the event. Whenever you click on submit, immediately system will create an event. In the event, multiple dynamic parameters are assigned. And then I'm dispatching that event. I'm dispatching that event. Control S. Everybody clear what I'm doing? Yes or no? I know these are quite confusing and tough because this is a new subject, right? Any questions? Anybody has any questions? Till here? All good? Or simply watching and enjoying the game? Right? Okay. Not a problem. Let's go ahead. Now I say true. Control S. Close it. Now I'll create one more component. Control Shift P. Create a lightning component. Oop. LWC underscore 1407 underscore EG4 underscore EVENT events DYNAMIC dynamic params. Now I will call the example 3 and example 4. And whenever the button is clicked, the event is dispatched. We will listen that event. We will handle the event here. In example 4 will be the handler. Example 4 will be the handler. I go to the HTML body, right? What I'm going to do here, right? Lightning card. Card. It is just for you to understand I'm doing it. Title equals to child, child LWC. This is the child LWC. Inside this, I'll call the child LWC. What is my child LWC? C. Oh, not capital. C hyphen LWC. I'll call the example 3. LWC example 3 I'm calling. Right? On that, right, in this, what is the event? The event is called, what is the name of the event? Submit. I come here. On this event happens. On declarative. As soon as I use the word called as on equals to, what do you want to do? I want to display. Display me. Call a function called display me. Perfect. Perfect. Now, paragraph tag. Right. Paragraph tag. Paragraph. I'm giving some gaps. Paragraph. Paragraph. I'll create one more lightning card. Lightning card. Title equals to display child LWC input in parent. This is the parent one, right? What is that? I will say, right, the employee entered is ename. P paragraph. Control X. Paragraph. Control C. The employee salary entered is ESAL. The employee, what else? Phone entered is ePhone. I'm using different variables everywhere so that you don't get confused, right? Employee email is email. Control S. Done. Now I will go to here. Whatever the values that I created here, ename, let me first put it here. Right. Example 4. Ename. Next. ESAL. Control C. ESAL. Colon. ESAL. Next. ePhone. Next. Email. Right. Email. This value will change as the parent input, the child input change, the parent also has to change. It's a changing value. So I'll say track. There I've taken API. Now I'm taking track. I will say @track. Track. Because if the child in the input, if the values change, the display also has to change immediately. That's the reason I'm taking track. Perfect. All tracks are done. Now, whenever somebody clicks, whenever this event occurs on submit, display me has to come. Display me. Display me in this event. Now here I have to capture the event and I have to get the value. I have to capture the event and I have to get the value. Right? What is this? How to get the value? Right? How to get multiple values now? This dot, what is that? Ename equals to event dot detail. This is what I told you to capture a value. But now you will say detail dot what? Here we gave name. So name. Next I copy this, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. This dot eSal, this dot ePhone, this dot email. Right? Perfect. Here, second one, it is called Sal. It is called Sal. Control C. This dot Sal. In the details, whatever you are given, in the details, it's called phone. Control C. Here, details dot phone. In the detail, it is called as email. In the example 3. In the example 4, while capturing email. This is how you capture multiple dynamic event params. If it is single, then event.detail. If it's multiple, event.detail.name. You have to give a name to the parameter, what parameter you are passing. It's not, it should be same. It can be anything. You can say A, B, C. Then detail.a, detail.b, detail.c. Detail.a, detail.b, detail.c. Right? Clear? Right? Done? Over? What else we want? We don't need anything else. Control S. We don't need anything else. Now if you want to save, after it is displayed, I want to save it in the database. Let's take an example. Then I can call imperatively. I can call imperatively, right? I can call, right? I can save method, I can call imperatively, right? Create account, I can call imperatively. I can call a server-side controller imperatively. Whatever you want, you continue this program here. I'm just displaying it. Later you can continue this program to call SYSCM system, right? To call system function or server-side controller SSC imperatively to create contacts. Continue this program. Now you can continue further, right? Continue from here. Keep on writing the program. I'm not doing it, right? You know how to create account, right? False to true. Right? Now we have to deploy all these things. Control S, right? Example 3. First, let me go ahead and deploy. Control Shift P. Deploy this to the source org. See how the LWC, very time consuming, completely different programming. It's a new programming, right? Done. Example 4. Let's deploy this. Control Shift P. Deploy this to the source org. Up, it failed. Import. What happened? Why it failed? Import. Did you made any mistake? Lightning, right? We have just used track, right? What is the problem? From LWC, @track, ename, esal, display event. Why it's giving an error? Which one is giving an error? Example 4. Let's see the HTML ones. Display me. When I click on display me comes in event. Ooh, Control Shift P. Okay. Control Shift P. Why it failed? Let's see why it failed. Okay. Let us see why it failed. Log ended with an exit code 1. SFDC deploy failed. Error. Project path error.
Lightning spelling wrong. Lightning card.
Lightning card.
HTML.
1 minute. Let us see. Where is that? Lightning spelling is wrong.
HTML lightning card.
HTML.
In the HTML, my lightning spelling is wrong, you're saying? Okay, let us go ahead and check it out.
In the lightning card.
Okay.
Lightning card.
LIGHTNING LIGH. Okay. LIGHTN. Okay, LIGHTN. Let me copy this. See, somewhere something is wrong, otherwise no issues. Some spelling mistake is wrong somewhere. Control V. What I'm doing. Okay. Let's LIGHTNING lightning card. Right. That's what it is. Control C. Control V. Space. Control V. Space. Now it should be good. Let me see. Lightning
The L
card.
is not
L is
copied.
missing again. L lightning card. L lightning card. Here it's a caps L lightning card. Now let us see. All lightning. Perfect. Somewhere some spelling mistake. Control S. Control Shift P. Deploy this resource arc. Perfect. It deployed. Right click. Rename. Copy. Go to the developer console. Put it here. Control S. Update preview. There we go. Here I enter Rupam. Employee salary 7,000. Employee phone 888. Employee event r@r.com. Submit. The value populates in the parent. As soon as this is in the parent, and whatever the data that you entered is entering here. I want everybody is able to understand this first. What I want is second thing. See, child LWC is this, and then we have parent. Whatever you displayed, whatever you entered in the child, that I'm displaying in the parent using an event. When the event is occurring, whenever you click on the submit button, along with the submit button, an event is created. At the time of creation, the parameters are also passed, and then I'm dispatching the event. Once the event is dispatched, I am handling that event declaratively. I'm handling that event how? declaratively by using on event display. System is displaying. This is what we are doing it. So today's class, you have seen how to pass an event declaratively with a parameter. Tomorrow class, we will see how to go ahead and handle event programmatically. Right? Today declaratively, tomorrow programmatically. There are two ways for handling the event. There are two ways to handle the event. Declaratively without param, with params. Tomorrow we will see programmatically. How can I listen? There you have to add listener. You have to handle notification. There's a lot of things we have to do. Programmatically. In real time, we use mostly declaratively, but you can use programmatically also. It's not that what do you call it? Not that tough. It's a simple one. Clear, guys, everyone. Clear, everyone. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? Now, that's good. Now, I want that to continue this program. You will continue this program, right? To create what? Create contact and display the contact ID here on the screen. In the screen, I want you to go ahead and display the contact ID created is. I'm doing it for you half. Yes, tell me. Sorry, I didn't got it once again. Hello. Hey, you looks to be speaking on.
It's your own.
Sorry.
It's your own ego.
Oh, my own echo is coming as I'm thinking as if somebody's asking it out. Okay. So at the rate track, I want the CID after you create a contact. Go on mute, please. I request people to go on mute. Otherwise, I'm able to listen my own voice. Mute, please. Mute, please. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Right. Now, so what is the homework? You will continue to create contact, which you know how to create it imperatively. If you go here on the top, you have create account, create contact. Right, scroll down. You have create account, create contact. Right? Somewhere it will be there. Create passenger. You take that. Copy the code and continue to create contact. From that contact, get after creation, I want you to get the response ID. That ID, I want you to display on the screen. Pass it to CID and display on the screen. Right? So I believe you should be able to do it. It's not a big deal. I want you to do it. Everybody should be working on this. Now it is creating a contact imperatively and getting the response, right? Create record is the system command, is a system function. Create record, right? You all know how does it looks, right? I've already shared the program with you, right? What is that? Imperatively here, right? You will use this. Create record, the record data. Record data is what I gave you just now. Name, phone, email. Response. In the response, you will collect the ID. In case of error, collect the error also and display on the screen if error is there. We have did this. We did create, we did delete, we did update, we did get. All these 4 we have did. Use the last one called create record and create a contact here imperatively. Display the ID. So who is creating the contact? The contact will be created by parent. Where is the data? Data is there in the child. From the child, the data is passed to parent. Parent will not only display the data, but will also create a contact. That's the homework. Clear, everyone? Yes. Right? Tomorrow, we will see how to create or handle an event programmatically. Right? That's what we'll start tomorrow. That's it for today. Right? Please practice. If you have any questions, doubt, please let me know. Right? So till then, have a nice and wonderful day. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.